A lot of Gen Zs
Mm-hmm.
want to escape their 9 to 5 life
Okay.
and turn their side hustles into full-time businesses.
Okay.
Is it a good idea
Mm-hmm.
to quit a job and go all in on a side hustle?
Don't quit without a plan. If you're already in a 9 to 5, there's nothing wrong with wanting to escape the 9 to 5 and get into business. But please ensure that you have done proper research. You have evaluated the target market and whether there's need for what you're offering. And at least what I would say, do that business as a side hustle for a while. And then you get like proof of concept.
Is it true that if you have to save up for something, that means you can't afford it?
I've seen that, Nini. How do I gauge if I can afford something? It is not because at a overall in my, let's say my bank account has 100K. That doesn't mean that I can now buy something for 100K. Affording something means that all factors held constant. What are the factors? I'm paying my bills sufficiently. I'm servicing my obligations sufficiently. Something as urgent as an emergency fund, I'm funding sufficiently. Now, if I have extra, that is what for me I interpret as affording. Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Finance Friday. I'm very, very happy to have you guys join me on yet another episode. I'm very, very excited for today's episode, by the way. I am at Sarova Panafric as per usual, our new shooting location for all our Finance Friday episodes going forward. I've really, really been enjoying doing our shoots here. This place is honestly so phenomenal. The food, the ambience, the service. Whether you're doing business travel or whether you're a solo female traveler, actually, did you guys know that Sarova actually have like a women's only wing? I found that so awesome, and the decor is literally just so soft, so feminine. It's giving what it's supposed to be giving. You guys check this out. It's just at Valley Road, along Valley Road, or you could just also check out all their other branches. One of the best chain of hotels that we have here in Kenya. So I'm really, really excited. So now that we have that out of the way, let's get into today's business. My videographer is a Gen Z. Hi, Gen Z.
Hi, Millennial.
And today what we are doing is that I have told him to ask me 10 quick fire money questions that he thinks Gen Zs have or that he has with regards to money. You don't even have to be Gen Z to kind of follow up and tune in. He's asking me very random money questions, and my plan is to answer them as quickly and as comprehensively as I can. So yeah, Jed, maybe you can say hi and tell us. Oh, you're not seeing him, but he's here. He's recording me. So you can tell me, tell us, say hi and tell us what you do.
Hey guys, I know you can't see me. I think I'm John Cena because you can see me. But anyway, I'll attach my image here so that you can put the name to the face. Yeah. My name is Jed, Jedediah, or Jed Valence. That's my handle on Instagram. What I do, I tell stories through film and photography. One of the most amazing projects that I enjoy doing is Finance Friday.
Yay!
Yeah, with the amazing Coach Susan.
Ooh, nitosha kabisa. Okay, Jed, shoot me money questions. Number one, has working with me helped you in your money? Ona nishaanza kukuuliza maswali. Has it helped you in your money journey?
True, it has really helped me a lot. Especially on, I think, one of the things that I've been able to do, I've really taken serious, having an emergency fund.
Yay.
And I've been trying to be as consistent as possible every other month.
Yeah.
To contribute. Another thing also, shout out to also Mnyindo.
Yes.
Yeah, one of the things since there's something that's supposed to ensure health is not working.
Yeah.
Is getting a medical cover. Because I realized towards the end of last year I was withdrawing money from my emergency fund to cater for medical
Health.
expenses,
Yeah.
and it wouldn't be sustainable. So I made sure I've gotten a cover, even if it's a budget cover for
That
Gen
is
Z.
so
Yeah,
good.
so
And especially because you're like 19.
no,
I know you're not 19, but you're young, so it's cheaper when you get it
Yeah.
when you're young. Okay, sawa. So what questions? Niko nervous. Hadi nashanga utaniuliza nini?
Okay, so so many of us as young people feel like saving can be too slow, and just don't feel like there's real change in the financial situation. Is saving really worth it, or should we just focus on making more money?
Oh, okay. That's a good one. So the question is whether, I mean, if saving is too slow, should you just focus on making more money? Because, I mean, if you save your way, it's gonna be so slowly. Okay, so I think there are two ways I could answer that. The first thing would be you want to, honestly, if I could choose between the two, I would say, hey, what should I say? Okay. If saving is too slow, should I just focus on making more money? Why not both? Yeah? Why not both? In this sense, making money is one of the things that you definitely should focus on as a young person, because I keep saying this, that you're the income generating asset, especially when you're so young. You know why? Because you do not have so much money at your disposal. I want to assume the reason why it's probably so slow is because you don't have so much money at your disposal. So I would say, if I only had to choose between those two so that I can actually ask the question you're asking, I would focus on, first of all, getting a consistent source of income. So definitely making more money, because I feel like when you have more money, or when you have enough money, it's easier to focus on like accumulating etc. That is what if I only had to choose, like if I'm forced and I'm pushed to the wall and I have to choose, that's what I would do. Because especially unajua ukiwa young, you have all these opportunities, you have all this time, you can upskill, you can do all of these things. And I feel like the moment you can earn good money, then you can focus on like starting to accumulate. However, the coach in me would definitely say do both. Yeah, find a way to just save. Even those slow savings can bail you out one day, in my opinion.
Okay. And what would be the best in saving vehicle, for lack of a better?
For a starting point,
Yeah.
MMF kabisa. Definitely a money market fund, because you can even do like with Zimele 100 bob. So let's assume uko down kabisa, like you just have 100 bob or 500 bob. You can definitely do that in a money market fund. Don't do a bank.
Yeah. Don't do a bank.
Yeah, for sure.
So if I have 5K, badala niende sherehe, what would be the best investment to do?
Okay.
First of all, is it even possible to start investing with 5,000? And what are the options?
Okay, cool. So because you've said investing, I want to assume you don't mean saving, kwa sababu saving is what you're doing like in your random money market fund, if you're using the two apps or whatever, yeah? So investing is money that you're putting aside, not necessarily for you to use, but for it to grow in financial assets. I can actually give you 3. Can I give you 3? You can do it 5,000?
Yeah.
Okay. You can do a fixed income fund. A fixed income fund is a unit trust product where your money is being invested in bonds. Now, because investing in bonds directly can be so much money, because you're looking at 50 to 100K, you can actually expose your money to bonds through the fixed income fund. Most of these companies actually have, they call it either a fixed income fund or a bond fund, 5K. CIC, you can do with 5K. Sanlam, they have a fixed income fund, you can do with 2,500. Even Britam have a Britam Bond Plus fund. Like most unit trust funds in Kenya actually have like a fixed income fund. You can also do something called an equity fund. An equity fund is for those people who want to expose their money to what do we call this? The stock market, shares. So if you don't want to go directly to the Nairobi Stock Exchange, you can go through the same unit trust. Interestingly, the third option I was to give you is actually shares through the NSE. Let me give you a case in point. Let's take even some shares like Kengen. I own Kengen shares. KenGen shares are probably right now at either 6 bob or 7 bob. The bare minimum amount of shares you can buy is 100 shares. How much money is that?
600, 700.
Yeah, 700 bob. So literally you can start investing in the stock market with select shares and actually start with 5,000. So I've given you like 3 options, 2 mutual funds options and maybe like a stock market option for 5K.
Oh, okay. That's awesome. What about rates? Can you do?
Yes, you can actually do real estate investment trusts. That's another one. Umesoma? Okay. Okay.
I
Yeah,
learned
you
from the
can.
best.
Exactly. So you can actually invest. So you see, it's not just, I feel like wase when you done it to MMF peke yake ndo, you can do it 5K. But like even the other investments, as you can tell, like right now, honestly, the investments market are so accessible. With as little as 5K, there's more you can do that is just beyond the money market fund.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So something I've noticed, a lot of Gen Zs want to escape their 9 to 5 life
Okay.
and turn their side hustles into full-time businesses.
Okay.
Is it a good idea to quit a job and go all in on a side hustle?
Okay. Why do you want to, anyway, you're the one asking questions. I wanted to ask why you want to escape the 9 to 5 too early. But let me maybe even, can I tell you my actual opinion? So number one, I feel like I could be a good or a bad thing for you guys because I feel like corporate shaped me in a way. That 9 to 5, it's like me kwanza nilikuwa nalipwa 20K and that's gross by the and imagine they used to deduct us.
Okay.
Like NSSF, NHIF, hell, but that time, like we were being deducted. And kwanza me, I also had a circle loan.
Sasa home ulikuwa unaenda nini?
And we survived, imagine, we survived.
Okay.
So I feel like that thing for wanting to escape the 9 to 5, actually we have a Gen Z in our house who has never even stepped into a 9 to 5 arrangement. Have you ever actually spent in, 9 to 5?
Yeah, I was employed.
How long?
For 4.5 years.
4.5 years? Okay, hata we umejaribu. Kwani ulianza kufanya kazi lini, Jed? But anyway, story for another day. So I feel like there's nothing really wrong with corporate. A lot of the things that I'm actually applying in my business right now, I learned from 8 to 5, like doing just general organizing of work as a business owner. So there's really nothing wrong with an 8 to 5 or a 9 to 5. But if you want to escape, would it be a good idea to leave your 9 to 5 to actually get into business? I think it is a good idea. Honestly, I am such a firm believer right now that one of the good things with your generation is that you people are not doing what you're thinking out of the box. People are going to school and getting literally first classes, but the goal of that first class is not to get a good job. It's just to kind of like have the right papers to get you in the right rooms. So I honestly still believe that, personally, in my own experience, I think running your own business, if you have the right skills and the right exposure, you would definitely make more money. However, quitting cold turkey or just waking up one day, leave your 9 to 5 to go start a business? Nah. Okay, part of the other thing I've noticed with your generation, who are not so far away from mine, y'all are so delulu. Like, with them, you wake up one day. Kujichocha. You wake up one
kuna
day.
kitu tunaambiwa kujichocha kwa imani.
Kujichocha kwa imani. Okay, sawa. So you quit. So I would say don't quit without a plan. If you're already in a 9 to 5, there's nothing wrong with wanting to escape the 9 to 5 and get into business. But please ensure that you have done proper research. You have evaluated the target market and whether there's need for what you're offering. And at least what I would say, do that business as a side hustle for a while. And then you get like proof of concept. That way, you're not just quitting because, I'm Delulu, I want to start a business. Because, you might not be very happy. You might be disappointed. I don't know. You might be disappointed. So I would say do it as a side hustle, kidogo. Establish that proof of concept, a relationship with suppliers, clients, and then now you jump the gun.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think one of the struggles I think most of us are even facing in this country, even I think globally, living paycheck to paycheck is a struggle.
Yeah.
Not just for us as young people. So how can we break that cycle without feeling like we are sacrificing too much?
Okay. The only sure way I know of ensuring that you stop living paycheck to paycheck. Remember that initial question you asked me, even if savings are slow, should I just focus on making more money or should I save? I feel like actually having savings is the only thing that will save us from living paycheck to paycheck. Because why do we live paycheck to paycheck? We don't have a cushion, we don't have a stash. We literally have nothing. So when your salary ishas, mshahara ikisha nivo. Now you either take a loan or you wait for the next paycheck. So that's why I was telling you that even though savings are slow, in fact, you're not the first Gen Z who's asked me like that whole savings thing. Most people wonder, kuna mse alieka pesa kwa MMF. Akaniambia ati alieka 5K and then at the end of the month akapata 97K. So he was like,
Yeah. For you to earn an interest of, I think, 1,000 shillings on MMF, I think you need to have over 150,000.
exactly, 150,000. So you see, people feel like this 5K here, 5K there, it's actually not beneficial. Sometimes don't look at saving as if lazima ni earn interest mingi. You get, just look at savings as I have something in case anything happens, like as a cushion. Because you see, even for me, my MMF did not start making sense in year 1. Heck, not even in year 2. Now is when I'm starting to see a good interest. I'm like, oh, so, okay, not bad. And I've done this since 2020. You get, so I feel like sometimes the mindset we have around our too small savings, it's not for it to make you Elon. Okay, someone told me, Juicy, Susan, say Elon Musk. I'm like, sisi hatukwenda group of schools. But anyway, so yeah, it's not to get you to Elon Musk status overnight. Sometimes it is just to give you that cushion. So that mshahara ikiisha kwa ile kona, when the business is doing badly, you literally have something. So paycheck to paycheck, you can only solve it by being a good saver. Have a cushion. That's what I'd say.
Many businesses, first of all, just to start a business, you need capital.
Okay.
Unless you started, those people who come and tell us, I started with a restaurant with a grain of rice. So
Yeah.
obviously you need capital.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've seen people, some people who started businesses, they've had to take loans. So is it a smart thing as a young person to take up a loan from a bank, maybe to start a clothing business, to start a movie shop, or at what point do you take a loan?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, that's a nice one. So I am very anti taking a loan for a new business, like a completely new business. Because again, of that thing I just mentioned, proof of concept. There's what you have in your head about, or what you've envisioned about how successful a business will be. And then there is what actually happens kwa grau. You get, like, you can start a business and, either you could have been blindsided on one area, you missed something, or, there's just a lot about a new business that is undiscovered. It is uncharted waters, which is one of the reasons why I'm against, especially bank loans. Those people are brutal, Jed. Brutal. Wakikupea loan wanakuanga wazuri sana. Lakini when it's time to come collecting, it's something else. So imagine this. This is uncharted waters. You've just started, but then you are taking something as sure as a monthly loan repayment and committing to it. Now, that is actually assuming that this business is actually automatically just going to do so well that eventually it will, not eventually, most loans give you a grace period of like 30 days. And then from the next month, you actually start paying, right? So I would say that I think there's a video we did, by the way, for how to start a business with little to no capital.
Actually, it's like a month ago.
Exactly, yeah. So we can link that down below. I usually am such a proponent of bootstrapping as much as you can. There are all those strategies we discussed. One of them, ilikuwa, I think in the video I was saying how, you see like some of these people, but then did you know, some of these Instagram shops, you're seeing people selling like home decor items. This person does not have stock for home decor. They literally have a dealer in Kamukunji who's willing to send them images or photos for the product, and then you post on your WhatsApp stories, you post on your WhatsApp. When you actually get a customer, then they actually pay, you deliver, you mark up whatever it is that you're getting as a commission. Some of these businesses run like that. It's not that someone has this whole entire stock in his house. You get?
I've seen that because
Yeah.
even the lady who sells me shoes, it's not that she has the stock.
Yeah.
So she gets photos from a supplier, sends me the photos. If I like the shoe, send her the money, she goes gets the shoe.
Exactly. So of course unajua amejiwekea hiyo commission yake hapo.
Yeah.
And that's how a lot of these businesses are running. So I would say for a start, like a very new business, you've literally just started, please avoid, like, especially the financial institution loans. You can get a loan from me, okay, lakini utanilipa interest. You can get a loan from your sister, from your brother, from family. Avoid, like, by the time ifike umeenda kwa bank, like to the point of you've gone to a bank or a sacco, it really needs to be a business that it has proof of concept. So I would say the best time to take a loan is when you are now taking it to the next level. You've done this thing for a while, low level, and then now the business is actually asking for some sort of expansion or a capital injection, either because like now you have more customers, more demand. I feel like it is good to take a loan for expanding an already existing business, but for a new business could be tricky.
Yeah, because actually when I was leaving employment, going into now freelancing, starting my own business, one of the challenges that I had, didn't have enough money to even start a business. So I approached one of my relatives who even owns a microfinance company to loan me, not from the company, but from his pocket.
Yeah.
But he advised me, since you're starting a business, it's not advisable for you to take a loan. And I ran with that. So obviously I saved up some money, buy equipment, but also I got a soft loan from my family.
Yeah.
So it was flexible to pay it, and even on those months that there was no business, I didn't have stress that
because they're gonna come collecting.
Yeah. So it really saved me a lot of stress.
Yeah, that's really nice. I didn't even know that's how you started. I'm learning new things about you. That's
Fungua
nice.
roho.
Fungua roho. Ongea. And you literally have almost you guys, you can see how cute my videos are. This guy literally has all the equipment. That's amazing. Okay, cool. So I hope I've answered at least that question for the loans.
Yeah, that's awesome. So making money online sounds like a dream for a lot of young Kenyans. Yeah. What are some real ways they can actually do this?
Yeah, making money online is the new... Honestly, I don't even think it is a scam at this point. Like, if you're a young person right now and you've not found a way to actually make money online, I genuinely feel like you're sleeping on yourself. Unakumbuka, okay, hata mi sidhani nilikuwa nimezaliwa. So hata huko umezaliwa. But I keep reading books and hearing about when the .com era was there. And some people waliachwa tu nyuma. Like some people were just left behind when, technology came and there was that .com era. I feel like now for us, the digital space and making money, especially on social media and using AI, if you're sleeping on this and you don't find a way like to... I mean, Jed, surely, tuambie ukweli. How many hours do you spend on Instagram in a day?
Okay.
I'm not saying Instagram peke. I mean, even YouTube, even TikTok. Just your overall screen time in a day. Bila kutudanganya because tumeka uso yake. Lakini, I mean, no judgment here. Approximately how many hours?
I think on days I've decided to be really, really disciplined.
Yeah.
I'll spend at the very least 3 to 5 hours.
3 to 5 hours.
Because also, remember, I use YouTube to research on how to even do some stuff in my work, editing and stuff. I use TikTok. I think if there's one thing, TikTok has become another search engine that you go and search how to do this, how to do this, and also get inspiration besides entertainment, just to get inspiration on how to do some certain things.
So you see, if you're not making money online, ujue you are the product. You're literally, you get.
Yes.
So I would say, I think now the only issue that I would advise, especially young people, is avoid being too impressionable. Now, maybe let me tell you something. I think for you, you've worked a bit online, so you probably understand this, but maybe someone else might not know this. I feel like the lie in your generation is that it's supposed to be easy just because it's online.
Oh,
I feel like now that's where people are getting. So there's a lot of scams. There's a lot of, imagine at him say, you people have been told don't put money in these MMFs, they're so slow. Come and put money in Forex within how many days you have 40% return. I'm like, guys, if it was that easy to make money, I even have relatives who've been conned. Kwanza nowadays, there's these guys, you send them money, they have a Telegram group, and then they invest for you and pay you profits. As in, how many people do you know? I mean, so many people have been scammed. Interestingly, there's a guy on TikTok. But if you're watching me, unafaa ubadilike. You've seen, there's a guy on TikTok who I have parody accounts on TikTok right now. There's accounts that have they have my profile photo, my bio exactly as is. They've downloaded all my videos. And then now when they're now reaching out to people to tell them, join my Telegram. Hi, I'm Coach Susan. When have you ever had me, guys, telling you I'll teach you how to do Forex? Can we be serious? That's a scammer. But anyway, so I feel like that's the issue. Just because it is online, it's supposed to be easy. So definitely it's the dream. You are in control of your time, unless clients are in control of your time. But like at the end of the day, you could literally be in Ukraine right now, Kisumu, Gatondo, working, and as long as you have a good internet connection and a skill, you could definitely work online. But I think the only disclaimer I would say is just because someone is telling you, oh, this is the dream, does not mean it is easy. Remember when I was telling you, I want to go back to employment? It's because of how difficult it is to run your own business, your own YouTube channel, your own venture, and do it so well that it is actually giving you a sustainable source of income. I think it is easier said than done.
Yeah. I think the problem now, with my generation, especially those guys who flaunt cars in Tigoni, they've gone to buy cars in Sujui Mombasa. These people, it's too good to be true. Also, like they do not show you the struggle. They'll show you the glam, and I think we were having this discussion a few hours ago that money that you've really worked for,
you don't flaunt it like that.
You don't flaunt it like that.
Yeah. Alafu sometimes I feel like real wealth is just chini ya maji. It's not.
You see, people, old money doesn't shout.
Mwachane na sisi tuko na new money. I mean, honestly, I agree with you. So I think your tundo issue, like honestly, working online, like right now, I think even with all the hardships, I just thank God that I work for myself, that I can work online. Because kwanza kama sasa hivi tunafanya uzazi huko kwa nyumba yetu, it just makes it so much easier than if I was leaving my house like every morning at 5:30, coming back, let's say at 8. It would be harder for me than it is right now. So definitely, I am encouraging young people to, let's change the nature of work. Because why are you in traffic for 4 hours, 2 hours asubuhi, 2 hours jioni? It's just not, I feel like it is, I mean, if that's not your thing, you could definitely escape that and work online. But Manishi, it's easy.
Yeah, you have to put in the work. Yeah. So another thing is that black tax is real. And many young professionals feel the pressure to support family while still trying to build their own wealth. How can they handle this without looking selfish?
Selfish. Ooh, I feel like, I don't know why I was under the impression that Gen Z don't have black tax. You people also dealing with black tax.
What?
Oh, wow. Okay. For me, I always say black tax is, number one, it is very emotional and very mental. Because the people we are talking about in question are not complete strangers. Si kama mimi nikikuja kukuomba pesa randomly. This is someone you really, that's like a parent, a brother, So I feel like because of that, people should just stop expecting that navigating black tax is going to be easy. I feel like just adjusting your mindset and knowing this is not going to be something that is easy for me to maneuver is already a step forward. Because now after very practical solutions to go about it. So without looking selfish, how do you do it? Jed kusema kweli says kwambia unaweza deal na black tax bila look selfish. Because at the end of the day, you see, by the time this person is calling you or telling you to, they've already assumed that you're good, you have the money. In fact, kwanza, you don't have a wife, you don't have children, you're
not paying rent.
You're not paying rent, maybe you don't even have expenses. You see, that's the assumption. So for you to actually draw a boundary and communicate to that person that I am not able to do this, it is honestly, it's unavoidable for people to think you're selfish. I think if I was to go back to when I was in my 20s, I would tell my younger self, now Gen Zs, you guys, that you are only responsible for what you say, not responsible for what other people understand. So if you feel like where you are, Nairobi maisha imekukimbiza, you're not actually able to send that money or attend to that money. You're only responsible for communicating that boundary respectfully. But don't try to control what they will feel. Allow people to feel their feelings. So if they feel, watoto wa siku hizi hata hawezi saidia mtu, they're selfish, they don't even have expenses, they can't help back at all, you're not responsible for that. So I feel like I wish someone told us millennials that. Because us, we carry the burden of the entire family. Like, we care so much about what our aunties, uncles, relatives are saying about us that even when you know your answer should have been no, because of caring about people's opinions and wanting to control. So you don't want your mom to be angry. You do not want your dad to say something about you. So you kind of like, because you're trying to control what they feel, you end up self-betraying and doing something that in another instance you wouldn't have done. So I feel like that would have freed me as a young person, or I would tell a Gen Z that, like, you're only responsible to respectfully communicate your boundaries. If that's where you know your budget imefika, let them feel what they will feel. It's not easy.
Yeah, it's not easy.
But I wish we were told that as young people, like from a very young age. I feel like a lot of black tax is rooted in people pleasing. Yeah, like you don't want to look like the bad person. You do not want to, So I feel like if someone told me this when I was 23, I wouldn't even have had the loans I had when I was starting my career. Because me, I was even taking out loans to finance people's things. Na hizo loans si zangu. It's just that I can't say no.
Yeah, it's really tough.
Yeah.
I know there's some cases which are really, really genuine, where you really need to help your family.
Yeah.
Especially if you've come from poverty and maybe when you may put a breakthrough.
Yeah.
But there are people, I think, other situations, you just find people, they just want, if they work hard, they can get money.
Yeah, but they want to.
But they're entitled to your money. So they feel, sasa jueni wetu. It's the same mentality actually that we have even when it comes to matters politics.
Yeah.
Uni mtu wetu, so lazima pia tu benefit. Lazima tukule. So I think, and that's why we need to sort these things from the family unit. Because the most problems we are facing even as a country, as a society, be it finances, be it politics, corruption, if these things we can be able to instill some really important disciplines in our families, like managing our finances properly, just having integrity.
Yeah.
It would save us
boundaries. Respecting boundaries.
Yeah, it would save us from all these confusion, chaos, and bitterness.
Yeah. I agree with you. So honestly, I don't think there's a way to deal with black tax without actually, I feel like to rid yourself of black tax, sometimes you have to be selfish.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that. Yeah, I just wish we were told that when you were younger. So now you know. If you're a Gen Z and you're watching us, now you know. Don't try to control people's emotions. Let them just feel whatever they feel. You tell them what you can and cannot do. Alafu wacha tu wa react.
Yeah,
it's okay.
There's also a lot of pressure to keep up with soft life and trends. So how can someone enjoy life without going broke or living beyond their means?
Okay. Actually, this answer is not going to be politically correct, Jed, but I'm just going to say it. And I want to keep that short and sweet because nikiendelea nitachoma. Take it from someone who works with sometimes what I would call the who's and who's. What you see on social media, Jed, versus what is actually happening on the ground, it's not the same. So I feel like that pressure I wish people were like flies on the walls like watching at people's finances. I'm not saying not at everyone who appears rich is not rich, but I'm like so many people, and it's not just a Gen Z thing, by the way. Even the people who are older than us, even the older millennials, even boomers. Kitambo, when we were I don't know if you guys in school were being brought for motivational speakers to talk to you about peer pressure. And and we used to think peer pressure is for teenagers.
Yeah.
Or high schoolers.
Actually, it was one of the things we have been taught in class 7.
Yeah,
science.
class 7 when adolescence is
pressure.
Peer pressure, let me tell you, it never ends. When you're in class 2, you're competing. Baba yangu gari yake ni ya red. Apana yetu ni kubwa. Like you're competing at that level. And then you get to high school, you're competing who's dating the hottest guy in Changes. Changes ilikuwa shule gani? Lenana. Story for another day. And then you get to, there's always like layers to it. Even like people who are considered affluent or rich, they're also competing on certain level. Now you're thinking you have a Bentley, you've arrived, and then you go meet someone with a private jet. And then when you have a private jet, you go meet someone who has...
With an airline.
With an airline, So I feel like, number one, 2 things. Accepting that there's always going to be someone who's doing better than you. And that is just the reality of life. There is someone richer than Trump.
Yeah. Many people,
right? And that's just what it is. Just accept it, that there's always going to be someone who's doing better than you. If it is competing, if that's your attitude in life to keep up, even when you own that airline, you'll be trying to compete with someone who owns an island or islands. You get like there's just always someone there's a billionaire who's bigger than other billionaires, So I feel like it is a losing battle. Number 2, not everything you see is the actual truth. There's a time I said this in an interview in NTV and I got so much backlash for it, but now I have tough skin. Nairobi is a city full of broke people trying to impress other broke people. So many of us are just trying so hard to impress others and to prove that we are not broke. So I feel like, especially like now from where I sit as a personal finance coach, kitambo I really used to have pressure. Nowadays I don't even have it because I have the privilege of having a look into people's finances. And then you just realize, uko tu sawa. So that's what I would say. Uko tu sawa. Don't try
just
to...
be content.
Yeah.
Just contented with. Have contentment in that. Because, there's always something that will always be greater. You might have 100,000 in your pocket. Now you start competing or with people who
carry briefcases of notes.
So the thing is just be content. Not that usikue ambitious and not hardworking, but just be content.
No, honestly, if my pocket can't allow it, I'm not doing it. Now I know that. I again, these are some of the things I wish I knew.
And
good.
I have a question based on that. And is it true that if you have to save up for something, that means you can't afford it?
I've seen that, Nini. I also saw Jay-Z saying how there's this Jay-Z quote for if you can't buy something twice, you can't afford it. So like if you buy an iPhone today and you can, in fact, if we asked you to buy another one, tumekumaliza. You can't do it. No, I don't think that if you have to save up for something, you can't afford it. Kusema ukweli, everything I have, I've actually saved up for. And for me, I do not think affording is a matter of... Affording is, to me, how do I gauge if I can afford something? It is not because overall in my... Let's say my bank account has 100K. that doesn't mean that I can now buy something for 100K. Affording something means that all factors held constant. What are the factors? I'm paying my bills sufficiently. I'm servicing my obligations sufficiently. Something as, as urgent as an emergency fund, I'm funding sufficiently. Now, if I have extra, that is what for me, I interpret as affording. Like if I have extra after that, I can buy a shoe, I can get makeup, I can go to Zanzibar, I think for me that's what affording means. Like affording something means that I can pay for this thing, all factors held constant.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. It's okay. That's great. So what's the biggest, what do you think is the biggest money mistake Gen Zs are making right now? And how can we avoid it?
Kai, unataka wanikujie?
Sema
Ati
tu
the
kweli.
biggest money mistake Gen Zs are making right now. How come?
Kwenda branch.
No. Ati kwenda branch. Let me think about it for a minute because I'm working with a couple of Gen Zs. Money mistake. I think the biggest for me would be okay, of course, we're not generalizing, but a majority of Gen Zs are, I feel, lack patience. And let me not put it in a way that, Kitambo, when I was employed, we had a lot of our bosses were boomers. I don't know what is wrong with boomers, some boss boomers, because these people, because they suffered, they want you to suffer. Have you ever worked
When I was your age, I used to walk for 10 kilometers.
I used to go to school bare shoes, barefooted for 10 kilometers. Not like that. As in, there are people who genuinely just want you to suffer. Because they suffered, or someone who's wondering how you've become a manager, assistant manager at the age of 26, and they became a manager when they were 47. That's now not what I mean when I say lack of patience, because of course generations are different. Like us, do you know, if you told me I started my business when I was, how old am I right now? 30. So if I work, but akina behave nika niko 45 ati sikumbuki how old I am. But akini mommy brain, by the way. Nowadays, I'm just telling people I have mommy brain. But when I started my business, I must have been maybe 26. Yeah, like 4 years ago. Kitambo, that was not the norm. Like most people, I think just because of how society was set up, you are graduating and then getting a job, and then you stay in those low levels, assistants, for 10 years. Like by the time you're making manager or partner, you are like outside, you're way outside, unaenda kuretire. Now for millennials, we are seeing people, I know people who run $1 million businesses and they're 29, they're 30. So again, that's something that is currently happening. But maybe what I mean when I say I feel like one of the biggest money mistakes is that Gen Zs lack patience. I feel like there are things that are a constant. You see, like, I think, Warren Buffett. Yeah. We know Warren Buffett for being a stock markets investing king, right? I read in The Psychology of Money, they talk about how, we know him for all the exploits he did in the stock market. But what most people don't know is that Warren Buffett apparently started investing at 11. You're a toddler at that point,
What was I doing at 11?
What are you doing at 11? I did not even know how to tie my shoes the correct way. You're so young, right? So you see, there are facts in life that will never change. One of them is that for you to actually grow wealth sustainably, you must give your investments time, you get. But Gen Zs want to start investing yesterday, and then tomorrow, they're millionaires. True or not true, Jen?
True. Kweli.
So yeah, some of these things definitely need time. Like investments, you have to give it time, even for very wealthy people, because of that thing for compounding. So I feel like that is one of the things that might not work out so well for you, because it makes you guys susceptible to getting like conned and scammed and stuff like that. So I feel like that impatience and also like what I was telling you, like I feel like you people want everything now. And some things, honestly, they take time. good things take time. A good business will require time for you to get the necessary skills. Will take time. It's like how I'm telling you, honestly, I didn't enjoy my 4.5 years in corporate, but honestly, they shaped me. To date, I benefit from the fact that I actually worked in corporate. But then you see, I'm not saying that everyone must go through corporate, but like, kuna wengine wenu wenye, yani you are in it, you don't even want to learn anything from it, you don't want to be teachable, you don't want to be guided, you think you know everything. So I feel like that's one of the probably the blind sides that you guys have. And I feel like it's a big money mistake because some of your careers would be built on the fact that you have a foundation in corporate. Some of your investments would really, really do well if there was that element of, I don't have to get rich overnight. I don't have to get rich quickly. So I would say that lack of patience. And then sometimes I feel like the hard mentality, group mentality, but I feel that's not just a Gen Z thing. I feel like every generation, tunafuatananga tu kama mambuzi. So we like to copy paste. I feel like copy paste. And maybe another thing, again, now because social media is so, it's like you guys live on social media. It's like you do not have a life outside of Instagram. People think that Instagram, listen, Jed, I like my followers. I like my followers a lot. A lot. And you know, I like my followers.
Yeah.
I like my subscribers here. But at no given point when I am asking, like if someone asks me, so tell me who your friends are, have I ever thought to say my Instagram followers are my friends or my YouTube subscribers are my friends? You guys literally are on TikTok at 3 a.m. getting lions. What are lions? I don't even know what lions are.
Oh, tap on the screen, tap.
And you are... Watch out, nisijudge. But anyway, I feel like that lack of having a real life, a real connections, a real circle, these things, it's tricky. So you see, even the way you make decisions, you're buying things because so and so bought. You're putting your money there because so and so did it. As in, it's like your validation, your the authority that speaks to you and the authority that advises the way you make decisions is online. You get? So, I mean, this is not even about money, but literally, hata mnatupostia vitu zenye si lazima. Si lazima mtu show, si lazima mtu ambie hizo vitu. Like, I wish people had, sometimes I see some people posting some things and I ask myself, you don't have community around you. You don't have friends you can talk to about this.
People to hold you accountable.
People to take your marital problems to or your whatever problems to. Like, imagine we don't care out here on social media. We'll probably just see, we sengenya you, we laugh, but like real solutions are like in you. So I feel like, I don't think it's just Gen Zs, but I see that mostly in Gen Zs. Like, social media has really impacted the way you make life decisions. And in my opinion, social media is not even a real place. It's a marketplace. Yeah, it's not like a real place for connections, accountability, things like that. So yeah, I feel like all that is making some Gen Zs make very terrible financial decisions.
And just to touch on something you
Yeah.
said about how it would be important to just be in a corporate setting. As much as we Gen Zs, most of us don't want employment, we want to be self-employed. Based on my own life experience, because I worked in a company for 4.5 years. I started as an intern, then I got employed, worked for another 4 years. When I stepped out and now spread out my wings to start a business, that, because I worked somewhere for 4.5 years, it really grounded me.
Yeah.
And I didn't struggle. Actually, I didn't struggle a lot when I came out. Because even, then another thing, do not burn bridges. Because even before I bought my first camera, I would go back to my former boss. Can you lend me your camera?
And borrow the camera.
And
Cause hukutoka ukiwa umewambia madam.
Yeah, so it's a really good it's really good that in yesterday I was even telling a friend that it's really important because she's doing interior design that she works somewhere for, even if it's a year before she starts her own business, it's good to gain that experience.
Yeah.
And now you have the courage to step out.
Exactly.
Doesn't mean you have to. Kuna watu wameamua tu
Business from the word go.
Yeah, business from the word go, and they thrive.
Yeah.
So, but it's always good to get that work ethic, because
especially the work ethic. The work ethic is everything, and that's what I mean. See, you've had people saying how they would not ever employ a Gen Z, like especially small business owners. I feel like corporates eventually will have to figure out how to include you guys, because you guys are taking care of your mental health. And my
social battery is low.
Your social batteries are low. Mara, don't call me past 5. Guy, nakwambia where I used to be employed. Nakwambia hata 10 a.m. 10 p.m. Someone will call you, and they actually expect you to reply to that WhatsApp or reply to that email. Now, us guys can do that with you guys. Yeah. But I feel like even for small business owners, like right now, our virtual assistant, her Lillian, I worked with 3 Gen Zs before I got Lillian to support me. Mi naambianga Lillian, hata ukitaka ni kuongeze tu, please niambie tu nitakuongezea, kwa sababu I feel like there's a gap there. Like there's also a grit that sometimes I feel is lacking, a consistency, a work ethic that sometimes is lacking. And by I don't even mean working, like Lillian doesn't work beyond her working hours. Like, in fact, she's very strict with her time. Nikimtafuta 5. Hapatikani, but like, I mean, that's the same way I would treat, but like, there's just that, I feel like there's taking things too casually, you get? And I feel like sometimes maybe for like some of us who already worked in corporate, especially if you had a very strict working environment, and if you were like me, you were poor, so you did not have options. It's not like I can just wake up one day and say I'm taking care of my mental health, so I quit my job. So I feel like that really shaped my work ethic. That's why I keep saying, honestly, I know the corporate I used to work with was not like the best place, but honestly, I need to give them this. Like, they really shaped me and trained me to be someone who has a very, very good work ethic. So, and I feel like that's something I don't know how you guys are going to figure out. Like, where are you going to learn work ethic if you're your own boss? Ama sasa ni you watch podcasts, read books, listen to Stephen Bartlett, The Diary of a CEO. Yeah, okay. And ChatGPT.
Okay, now I just have one more question.
Okay.
So, if a young person wants to be financially free before 40, what's the number one thing they should start doing today?
If one person wants to be financially independent by 40, you need to live on half of what you make and invest the other half. 40 is this close. Do you know, kitambo, I used to think the way I'm young. I used to think, I'm just 20. Mi hata nilishanga nimefika 30 aje. And I honestly, granted, I still feel that is significantly young. I have like another 18 to 20 years to really just, my financial independence desired age is 48. And because of that, so before I became a mother, ideally I was working to save around maybe 40 to 45% of what I earn. So ndio maana unaniulizanga kwa nini nika spend a soft life. Set spend a soft life, Jed, by the way. Mungenipea tu chance. Ningewashtua. But, it's because when you really run your numbers, you know what financial freedom is, by the way, or independence? It is that you become work optional. You don't have to work to earn a living. So you have passive income. The passive income is taking care of your rent, it's taking care of your car fuel, for your, what do you want, a Subaru, BMW? What are you planning to buy?
Mercedes GLE.
GLE? For your first car? Hey. Guys, tutafanya pay bill mchango.
Mchangia kama shushu ya shira.
Tukuchangia kama nini?
Nikae chini
Tujue venye tutakuchangia 300k ya GLE. Go you, that's amazing. My first car was a Mazda Demio 205. Very old car.
It's good.
But go you, GLE, Jibambe. utakuwa unanibeba na hiyo gari.
Usijali.
Sawa basi.
Utakuwa unapanda Uber.
Sitakuwa napanda Uber. Why not? Okay.
Kudrive gari yako.
Na kudrive gari, lakini mi nataka drive. Lakini kiomoka. That's also another thing. Honestly, freedom is deciding that you do not want to cook. I'll hire a chef. Those are two things I'll do. I'll hire a chef and I'll 100%. I want a good car, but I don't want to drive. So I want a driver, and then I sit on the back left and I'm just working. I look cool. Pesa wewe nikikupata. But anyway, let me answer your question. So saying, do live of half of what you make right now, because passive income is one of the hardest things to actually earn. For you to have investments that can sustain your lifestyle, because that's what financial independence is. So literally you have money that can pay rent, can fuel your GLE, can maybe even pay for all your utilities, and maybe you're just working now for extra. You're working for travel, maybe you're working to marry, you're working for school fees, things like that. But like your bare minimums maybe are sorted. That's like a form of financial independence. And honestly, there's no way as a young person you can get there to 40 if you earn 40,000 and out of your 40,000 you spend 38. So you now have 2,000 bob left to invest only, and then you're saying, by the time I'm 40, I'm going to be financially independent. Financial independence is a product of a very aggressive investor. So I would say two things. Live on half of what you make. So literally below your means, way below your means, then invest the difference. And then honestly, earn as much as you can. So earn as much as you can. And whatever that much is, live on only half of that and then invest the other half. You should be close, if not already there, by the time you're 40. So assuming you're like 20 right now, you have another 20 years left to go. That kind of mindset will benefit you. Lakini sasa Jed, if you go and get a wife and start parenting.
So does it mean I should marry at 40?
No! I just mean, honestly, let me tell you, a lot has changed. Since I became a mom, the aggression that I had for investing, saving, nini, diapers are just doing everything. And because now I am just in love and I'm seeing, nikiona tu kiatu, nafikiria BBT. Nikiona sijui what. So now that's actually an area I'm trying to discipline myself. So that's what I'm saying. Honestly, if you're a Gen Z right now, you don't have to be single, but you're not like actively growing a family or parenting, take advantage of that. I think people don't tell us enough to do that. Even though una feel hauna pesa enough, you are still a bit more, you're a bit more fluid in terms of money and flexible than someone who has like one or two or three kids, because the ball game just completely shifts, which is one of the reasons why I also say that sometimes saying you will slow down at 40 is usually, you either have to have two things or three things going on for you. You're earning ridiculously high amounts of money. You're single, or you have no children, or you're a trust fund baby. So, I mean, generally, parenting is good. It's beautiful. But like, I feel like it really takes quite a bit of your money and your attention just for a minute. You rebalance eventually. So right now I really have to, like right now I was saying how in 2025 I have to double the income I earned in 2024 for me to maintain the new obligations we have in the house, but also to maintain the speed with which I was growing and heading towards financial independence. So guys, mwachi channel, subscribe. You watch more so that I make more money, so that you get it. Yeah. So
yeah. And just to add on that, I saw something just recently. I think it was also based on that question.
Yeah.
And it was the MD for Nabo Capital, Pius Mushiro, said that.
I love Pius.
Yeah, he's really good at what he does.
Yeah.
He was saying that I think he was also talking about, I think if you want to make your first million, now let me turn it into, translate it now to
money,
financial freedom.
Yeah.
He was saying that if you're still living in your parents' home and they haven't chased you, please don't move.
Please don't move out.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
Honestly, don't move out. Because like you get, and this is something I wish most Gen Zs knew. do you know all of y'all just want to move out the first? Yani unapata tu, do you know you people think that 50K is a lot of money and 50K is not even a lot of money? You're making big life decisions. With that 50K, you're saying you'll move out and you will buy your first car. Hapana. Like, honestly, if you're still at home, there's no one who's chasing you away, you have a fairly, okay, I know some people are moving out because of mental health issues or insecurity. Maybe you don't have a very good relation, but honestly, if you have a good relationship with your folks, hawajakufukuza, take advantage of that period for as long as possible, but invest the difference. Sa shida ni sijui kama mna invest ama mnaenda branch.
Yeah, because
ama mnaenda Burna Boy. Ulienda Burna Boy?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay. Yeah.
The only banner you had really come into contact with ni ile ya gas.
Jokes.
Anyway.
Dry jokes.
Dry jokes.
Have I answered your questions?
Yeah. They're really great answers, and I believe my generation is gonna be impacted with that. With that, yeah. I've also learned a lot.
Awesome.
Yeah, I hope we can do this more and more.
Yeah, I know people are wondering who is Susan talking to. Next time, mtuambie hapo hivyo kwa comment section kama mnataka kuona Jed Violence. By the way, he's an amazing videographer, guys. By the way, let me plug him. If you have a YouTube channel and you're looking to work with someone to help you take your content to the next level, I'm gonna leave his email address and his contacts down below. No, atu gatekeeping. We can all share the videographer, guys. Nothing wrong with that. But yeah, thank you so much. I really hope you enjoyed this episode. Leave us any questions or comments that you might have down below and let us know, especially if you're a young professional, Gen Z, millennial. Please tell us what you thought of this conversation and if the responses to some of these questions were impactful to you. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next week for another episode of Finance Friday.
Haya, kwaherini guys.
Bye.